definitely moving into management.
Madoda, what would you say has been the one experience that stands out for you so far in your journey within Global Youth Choir and the travels you have been on?
Sure, we've done a lot, eh? But you know, there was a time, I think last year or last of last year, we got an invitation. We went to Disney World.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was amazing. First time in Florida. The people, the fireworks, roller coasters.
Okay, do people stop you in the streets when you travel? They do, no?
Yes,
when
some recognize us.
you guys are that famous, eh?
Some recognize us, yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. Made new friends there. Yeah, the stage, the music.
Now cruise control. Now check on cruise control.
When you think about,
Hey.
obviously there's sort of a collective vision that somebody like Ralph will be driving and steering, but for you as a young person who has the opportunity to carve whatever their life might look like because of the opportunity of being in that choir, what does that mean for you?
Well, I could say that, do you know, when you're a youth, you have obstacles that you come up with. So other people are in the streets, they don't reach their dreams. So as for me, I thank God that one of my friends took me in and said, please come and join the choir. So for me, I could say that being in the choir taught me a lot. And it made me stay out of other things, like bad things, being on drugs, being an alcoholic. Like reaching those dreams, I wanted to be a singer. So I started a church with my daughter.
I told you, my daughter is a national, my daughter is a national recruitment agency. I figured it out in 2 minutes.
We started a church, and then afterward, he's one of my big friends, the biggest one, because we started when we were small. So then
That's what it says. How much can you
it took us. My biggest dream was going to America, and we did go there. Even if it's not me personally,
But
being with the choir,
Isikhathi ushaya content uqedwe yenzayo.
Wow, that's
Akufani nokuthi sasayelo isite. Yazihamba.
Yes, I'm going to open the lines now for a little bit. 086 000 2032, and that's the number to dial. 086 000 2032. Of course, you've already started sending through the voice notes and messages, but we'll take more on 0614
Sithembe ukuthi ayikho abazothi bazozishiyile.
0614 Yeah, I hope none of you have group lines. But if you have, the lines are open.
Ngabe bayabuye nomxolisi. Ngawushaya 3 weeks this year. Ngawushaya 3 weeks this year.
All right, I'm going to play some of the
Travel
voice
about time.
already sent. I'm going to play some of the voice messages.
Oh, December, you better beshayidile. Umuntu ehambe 3 weeks.
Give you the heads up because there's quite a few.
Inyanga yonke
You
phela
might know that the mic is open, but hear the voice notes that have come through.
Good morning, Giddy. I would only like to ask Ralph to explain to me, where does Walter Kellerman fit in the Global Youth Choir? Thank you.
SFL. Wow. Still, the voice of this group, you can hear the talent, the deepness in their voices. Wow. Cute. They are executing it marvelously. Sky is the limit. Keep it up.
Marvelous.
You've got a fantastic group there in studio. I think they are my boys and girls because I'm staying in one level, the place called Tofan NG. I think it's not far from where I stay at home because I used to go there. I think there was a doctor there. Still there. The doctor says call I used to take my father to that doctor. It's like a hospital. I think I don't know whether are they related to that hospital or what. They are not far from where I am. And it's okay, so far now I'm staying in Pinoni because of work. This is May. Thanks, Katie and the group there.
Alright, so they're nodding their heads, they agree, they know exactly what you're talking about, Sandile.
He's the founder of the Global Camping. That's had Global Youth Choir because we are from an NGO which is called the Global Camping. And then there's different programs and we are one of those programs. So we know Dr. Temple and he's still there.
So Voting Caravan did a collaboration with us.
And it's such a beautiful one, hey?
Yeah, so it was fun. We went out to Mpumalanga and recorded it. So Vote is an important part of our journey.
Denzel, you're calling us from Kimberley. Good morning.
Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Denzel.
I'd like to greet the choir as well and the conductor. I have one message, Kathy. There's a song from Landwell. I've heard the song from Soweto Gospel Choir years ago, and I've learned it actually from them. And when I listen to the song, it reminds me, I think of a special choir. Even you can tell you the schools now, like the best of the villages and schools. I think music is open factor in our lives.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
Also, I start to have no mix English and black people goes on to talk. So I can learn something from that as well.
Okay, but they've got a lot of those songs, but it's fine, you need...
We need more.
Oh, you need even more. Okay.
Zulu, but after all the years, it's like we still call it Zulungu. But yeah, we'll try and do some more songs where you can learn. But I absolutely agree with you. We've got so much young talent in this country, you know, I think it's a collaborative effort. Not just we can't just expect the Department of Arts and Culture to uplift every good singer. It's everybody needs to harness the power of social media. The communities need to also help those singers in that community, get them out, and from our side, I must say, Department of Arts and Culture have really supported us brilliantly and beautifully, and we're most grateful to them.
Nicholas, you're in Mamelodi. I'm squeezing you in, Nicholas, because we have to get at least one last song before we close up the show.
Okay.
Yes, good morning. You're live on the radio, Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I just want to say I'm born in Philadelphia. Is it urgent? They can see, they know the place.
They're all nodding their heads, Nicholas. They do know the place.
Yes, so I used to visit the center there to bring my sister there. So I say to Mr. Ralph, keep it up. I'm following your shows on YouTube the moment you were in overseas. Mr. Ralph, here? I appreciate that. Yes, man. Thank you for keeping our children out of many things.
Thank you, sir. They keep me out of many things as well.
Originally, I'm from Togoza in Kwandebele, Mpumalanga, but I was born in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yes. I was there 2 years back at the center there.
Wonderful.
Next to Mpumalanga.
Thank you so much for the call, Nicholas. I know Tando, I must read Tando's message because she's listening from Denilton. Says, morning Kathy, I'm listening from Denilton. Super proud of the choir from the dusty streets to the world. Somebody else says, Kathy, I'm from KZN 2 years ago. I drove to Mokopane via Denilton. When I saw a board written, the home of Ndlovu Youth Choir, I had goosebumps. It's what I was seeing. Sadly, I have never met them. So thanks for those messages. Unfortunately, okay, let me squeeze in Jeff's message from Fenterstorm, who wants to know, how did the choir change this classic Mbobe from its originality to be this hit? Ralph, I think that's for you.
Yeah, that's what we always tried to, I think South African music needs to evolve. You had Mbube, which was the genre that preceded this Tatamia, which was based on Black Mambazo did, and you had Solomon Linda before that. So we like looking at the briefs before us, like Mambazo, and saying, how can we add our own interpretation spin to it? So it's out of respect to those before us that we try and evolve the genre and give a modern twist to it.
And you guys do that so beautifully. The time was simply not enough. So I hope you guys are going to come back.
Yes,
Thank you so much for making time for us. We wish you all of the best. And we are all so very proud of what you have been able to do.
And if I could ask, please, Kathy, if there's anyone in Gauteng or Joburg that would like to see the choir this weekend, tonight, Friday night, Saturday, tomorrow afternoon, and Sunday afternoon are sold out. But Saturday night, tonight, and Sunday night, you can come and see us at the Teatro at Monte Casino. Tickets available at showtime.co.za.
All right. I will give you one last song.
Welcome to Gauteng. Ubamba wonke umnotho. Yes.
EFC is live this Thursday. The bantamweight title is on the line, live from the World Sports Betting Arena, as the top-ranked divisional contenders and perennial fan favorites Faiz Jacobs and Vince Bembe go to war.
When he smells blood, he cuts mercilessly for the finish.
EFC is live this Thursday. Watch it on SABC Sports Channel and DTT Channel 4 from 7 p.m. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
On Friday, the 6th of September 2024. Very warm welcome to Updated Noon here on SAFM. Leading the conversation, I'm Sakina Kamwendo. Coming up in the next hour.
Did I receive any improper benefits? I did not receive any improper benefits from the contractor as indicated.
Justice Minister Mpumalanga has denied an improper relationship with the contractor appointed by the Polokwane municipality where she was a mayor.
There are people from government who are demanding kickbacks from us.
Some want to use us to disrupt projects where they did not gain.
And a notorious Durban-based business forum claims that politicians are behind the so-called construction mafia. Coming up in sport,
Bafana tonight, the Springboks tomorrow, and the latest on the Paralympic Games.
and what's ahead for the sporting weekend in the second half of the show. Please write to us via X or Facebook at SABC News_radio. You can also reach us on Twitter or X now using the hashtag #UpdatedNoon. 41391 is the SMS line number, charged at 150 per SMS, or you can send us a WhatsApp voice note on 0826923909. Well, these and more stories coming up on this Friday edition of Updated Noon. First though, here's the latest news with eMalahleni.
Sakina, the top stories at midday. The Justice Minister denies corruption allegations, and a veteran broadcaster remembered. Very good. Justice Minister denied allegations that she had an improper relationship with the service provider appointed by the Polokwane municipality, Gundo Wealth Solutions. She appeared before Parliament to account following allegations that her relationship with the contractor lended her a loan from the now defunct VBS Bank in 2016 when she was still mayor. Mpumalanga received a loan to buy a coffee shop. The minister explains.
I asked Gundu for advice on how best I could finance, and in those discussions Gundu then informed me and advised of a loan product that they have that I could access. In consideration for the options loan, Gundu was not a service provider. There existed no conflict in my view in securing a loan from Gundu. I took a decision to proceed with the business. I let it go to a close and affirm that there was no improper. I requested for a loan. The loan was advanced.
follows the cases of 142 reported cases at Malwandla Primary School. So we have Abafani watching that story for us also in Limpopo. And then in the Northwest Province, Itumeleng watching this one, drug users, drug addicts and drug dealers wreaking havoc for the colored community of Danville in Mahikeng. Now the locals in the area say that there's a bush next to that township where these drug users spend their time smoking and then go on to rob people, run away from the police, and unfortunately there have been discoveries of bodies as well in that particular area. So we'll check in with our reporter to find out what the latest is. And as indicated yesterday, the story of the mayor of Nketwana in the Free State, who appears to have spent about 100,000 Rand on a rented car in a single month. We'll speak to Ground Up just to bring us up to speed with regard to that investigation and what it showed up. And also, Nebu's also trying to get us a response.
He's driving past potholes every day.
Municipality, either from the mayor or someone else in that municipality about this. And we have reached out to Ekurhuleni, the city of Ekurhuleni as well, but unfortunately they've indicated they can't speak to us today because we wanted to find out more about the 70% debt write-off. So the executive mayor announced that, and it has apparently been approved, but they said we will, they'll probably try next week. So we'll follow up to find out exactly what is at play there, because as I said yesterday, from what I had heard and seen, it seems as though this will apply to residents in Ekurhuleni who own property up to the value of around 2 million. So that raises quite a few questions, because people can just decide not to pay, and it raises the question of whether this further entrenches the culture of non-payment, and what does that mean for people who actually do the right thing and pay their municipal accounts. So that, and of course court stories we're also following up on, as well as the Thabiso Sekwane memorial that's taking place in Centurion. Oh, and before I forget, it's a Friday, so Martin Creamer will be in with another update from the coalface as well. But let's start here. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Thembi Simelane, has denied having an improper relationship with the contractor that was hired by the Polokwane municipality. Now, Simelane says that Gundo Wealth was not a paid service provider of the municipality, only a financial advisor. Now, this was at the time when she was the mayor of Polokwane. The minister was briefing the portfolio committee on Parliament about allegations of her having benefited from the VBS mutual scandal during her tenure as mayor of Polokwane.
The published allegations are anchored around two questions in the main.
In your days, no money.
Appointed by the municipality, which I served as a mayor. And secondly, did I receive financial benefits?
First thing what money is equal to money to
And the first one,
all file up
the improper relationship. I did not have any proper relationship with the contractor appointed by the municipality. And let me give the context to this assertion. I'll touch a bit on the appointment process of Gundu as the financial advisor on investment decisions of the municipality. Mayors are never involved, or councillors are never involved in procurement. So the work of appointment of a service provider is a responsibility of executives in the municipality. And in this instance, an advert was ran, a supply chain management process was undertaken, and Gundu Wealth Solutions was appointed as the investment manager, financial advisor to the municipality for a period of 3 years. This advisory work was undertaken at no financial cost to the municipality. Meaning it was not a tender where you are building a house and then there is a particular budget and you are. So it was an unsolicited where you work at the commission that you are receiving. It's what you get to be paid for. So there is no money that was paid by Polokwane municipality to Gundu. Honourable members, I will also want us to investigate whether I had relations of any kind with Gundu Wealth. We must start with the appreciation that, as I indicated, they are not a contractor and they did not receive payment. They were appointed to provide services through a procurement process, and this was done through committees of council, which are overseeing procurement. And as per section 52 of the MFMA, which mandates the municipal manager to report the financials of the municipality every quarter. A report was brought to council to note the appointment of Gundu Wealth Solutions. Did I receive any improper benefits? I did not receive any improper benefits from the contractor, as indicated.
And that was Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Thembi Simelane, briefing the Portfolio Committee in Parliament about allegations of her having benefited unduly from the VBS Mutual Bank during her tenure as Mayor of Polokwane. But for more, we cross now to our parliamentary correspondent, Mercedes Percent. Mercedes, good afternoon. So the Mayor says, or the former Mayor rather, the Minister of Justice now, Thembi Simelane, says she did not do anything wrong. How was that received by the members of the Portfolio Committee?
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Sakina.
Our apologies, as you could hear. Line just dropped on us there, so let's try and get Mercedes Besson back, who was watching, of course, these proceedings in the Portfolio Committee. And we will, of course, just see if we can get Mercedes back very quickly. If not, we'll move on to another story and then come back if we can get a better line, because we have been struggling with that line to Mercedes Besson for a minute now. But Lungi is trying, not getting through, so let's park that one there and we'll come back to Mercedes in a short while.
Sakina Kamwendo on SAFM.
Now, the mayor of Nketwana local municipality in the Free State, Mamiki Mkwena, is reported to have spent about 100,000 Rand on a rented car in 1 month. Now, according to an invoice seen by Ground Up, the mayor traveled about 7,000 kilometers between the 18th of May and the 18th of June this year in a rented car. And that invoice also suggests that she was billed around 64,893 Rand for the rental of the vehicle for that month. And the record suggests that about 34,000 was spent on the mayor's fuel card over that period. And this follows 2 accidents in which the mayor's cars owned by the municipality were written off. And the Auditor General, in her recent report on Nketwana local municipality for the 2022-2023 financial year, recorded that the municipality had irregular expenditure of around 480 million Rand. But for more on this investigation, we join on the line by Tladi Mokoena, a Ground Up journalist who made this discovery and worked on this story. Tladi, thanks for your time. Welcome to Update at Noon.
Hi, Sakina. Thank you. Let me just correct. I'm Tladi Moloi, not Mokoena.
Tladi Moloi, my apologies. Right, we'll fix that. Tladi, thanks so much for speaking to us. Now, firstly, how did this discovery of this particular incident come about? What put the mayor under the spotlight for you?
All right, Sakina, there are many things that happens especially in the local municipalities where you find that service delivery is not happening, and then you find that the community, sometimes they will obviously go on the street and complain and other things. Then one time we decided that let me just zoom into this municipality, and then we found that there are many things which are wrongly done by especially this municipality.
So please talk us through those.
All right, if you zoom back.
These do not make sense. For instance, on the 18th of May 2024, the car was filled with 67.1 liters of fuel. The odometer reading was 19,800. Then 2 days later, on the 20th of May, the car was again filled with 53.9 liters of fuel, but the odometer reading was now 19,900 kilometers, suggesting the car had already been driven 100 kilometers. So yeah, these things just go on and on. If you look at the odometer readings, that also did not make any sense. You take it further. On the 21st of July, the odometer reading 20,804 kilometers, and fuel was then put in the tank, 64.45 liters of it in Pretoria at a cost of 1,382 Rand and 65 cents. And the next time fuel was purchased was 3 days later, on the 24th of July. But on this date, it was 76.6 liters of fuel for 1,665 Rand and 5 cents in Heilbron. But the odometer reading was now 20,764 kilometers, which was actually 40 kilometers less than the previous time when that tank was filled. So again, no answers from the municipality for all of these discrepancies?
Yes, we did not get the answers. The funny thing about the whole thing, that was just one of the things. Unfortunately, on the story, we cannot write the whole thing, but there is more into this. If you check on that one, the ones that you have spoken about, we even laughed with my colleague about it to say, what the kind of a car the mayor is using that consumes petrol over 100 kilometers. That's a hell of a car with an engine capacity. We don't know. And then another thing is, we ask ourselves, maybe the car that the mayor is driving, when you go to reverse and then the odometer also go to reverse. Because if you check some of the things, the odometer readings, they go up and down. But there are two possibilities here that we cannot shy away from it. And then the first one, I was wondering if perhaps the mayor or the mayor's car is used to fill up the petrol, and then later the petrol is taken out of the car to another car. Or maybe someone somewhere knows someone at the filling station, and then they would just go with another car and then say full up the tank, and then they use the municipality petrol card. But it shows that something wrong is happening here. And then if you check further, you'd find that there are at some days where the mayor only drove about 44 kilometers with a full tank. So there are many things happening in it, Commander.
Evidently. All right, we'll leave it there. I'll tell you what, Tladi, we also have been trying to get hold of either the mayor or someone in the municipality to make sense of these discoveries. So we'll let you know if indeed they come back to us. But of course, these are serious questions that need to be asked in a municipality that the Auditor General has also, flagged as one where there is quite a sizable irregular expenditure, 480 million rand. And this is a small municipality. It is in rates in the Free State. So you can imagine, in a small municipality like that, with expenditure such as this, there are questions that need to be answered. But thanks so much to Tladi Moloi, a ground-up journalist who wrote that particular story.
Sakina Kamwendo on SAFM.
Right, as promised, let's take you back to Parliament where Mercedes Besent is, just to bring us up to speed with the developments there. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Temi Simelane, has denied having an improper relationship with a contractor that was hired by the Polokwane municipality at a time when she was the mayor of that municipality. So let's find out from Mercedes how her response was received by parliamentarians in the Portfolio Committee. Mercedes, good afternoon. So what was the response there?
Thank you very much, Sakina. Unfortunately, my phone was just freezing on me. I don't know if it is what is happening that makes it to freeze. Just on a lighter note. But yes, this is very interesting, Sakina, and it looks like this is just not going to end here. She went on to say that she never had that improper relationship with Gundo, the contractor. And her explanation of not having an improper relationship with Gundo solutions is that she, mayors and councillors never get involved in procurement processes and so on. But maybe just some of the responses from some of the committee members. Ethel Trollope from Action SA, for example. In commission fees, from VBS, and yet you have the minister or the former mayor saying that there was no cost. Gundo was just giving advice. It was more of an advisor to the municipality, financial advisor, and there was no money that was involved. It's almost like it was for free. So these are some of the issues that are coming up, the kind of questions. And also one of the questions that was asked there by Trollope was if she was unable to fund the money, for the coffee shop, but the repayment, the question is the repayment happened in a short period of time of over the year, and how was that possible? But also there were very, pressing questions. If you look at, for example, Isdena from the Freedom Front Plus had quite a range of other questions to know where the loan agreement is it available, has it been given to the president or anyone else? And they say they would like to see this loan agreement. They say they would like to see it, and they also wanted to know, that she wanted to get financial advice from Gundo. Why is it that she would get financial advice from an unregistered and what they call an unregistered financial institution? So these are very, very critical questions that came out here. They wanted to know if she took that financial advice from this unregistered financial advisor, why was it, and also why did she continue to take the loan from Gundo, with such a huge interest there, which they say is almost close to 50%. So they say, but this, as Dana was saying, that this is not a good financial decision that was taken. And also they wanted to know, the entire price of the coffee shop. Was it really over 500,000 rand, given that it is in Sandton? Is it possible that, and if that is the case, where did she get the balance, the money to fund that? As we heard that the entire amount was 500 plus 200 and something, thousand rands, which came to more than 800,000 rands. And so she gave the order, as Dana was saying, that to say that there should be a disinvestment, with Gundo, but she claims that she never had anything to do with Gundo. So she is answering questions. This meeting is supposed to go on until 1 o'clock. We will see if it goes beyond, but anything else, one is to be here and also to monitor. We will be bringing, everything, to the listener also later, and in the bulletins, in the current affairs shows. But this is going to be a very, very interesting matter, and it doesn't look like, from the way it is unfolding and those critical questions, it might end here, because there was an issue also of whether she is responding under oath, on these questions. And whatever you say here, you need to make sure that, for example, you don't lie to Parliament. For example, if some things come up the other way, in another investigations, then it means that there's a possibility that a member, particularly a member of the executive, would have lied to Parliament. But the question of whether she's speaking under oath, it was clarified also by the chairperson of the committee to say, look, they've already taken an oath, and everything that they say here, they know they've taken an oath. However, if there is a separate investigation, this is not, it's like a fact-finding mission. It's not an investigation like the previous ones on ESCOM, and you remember the one of the SABC in 2016, where you have to take an oath when you testify. So we don't know, one could foresee that this may lead to another parliamentary investigation, unless or maybe if she does resign. But from what I've picked up, from what the DA was saying, not in a good way, but just to say that you are at the helm of this Department, Constitutional Justice and Constitutional Development, maybe she should basically resign.
All right. Mercedes, you get back in there so you can keep us abreast of those developments. Our parliamentary correspondent, Mercedes Percent. Slightly late to it, but here's eMalahleni with the latest headlines.
Thanks, SK, and good afternoon. In your headlines, Justice Minister eMalahleni has denied allegations that she had an improper relationship with the service provider appointed by the Polokwane municipality, Gundo Wealth Solutions. Police have arrested a 34-year-old suspect believed to have been part of a syndicate that kidnapped a family of 4 in Cape Town. And Eastern Cape Education has reached an agreement with teacher unions to maintain the current complement of 52,817 teaching posts for the next 3 years. Details in your news, 1 o'clock.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
Well, it's a Friday. Here's Victor Mapunga, head of research at Old Mutual Wealth Private.
In 80, so it strengthened there a bit. And then the GSE is around 81,700, down about 2.5% for the week. Our bonds are a little bit firmer than where they started the week, and just thinking or looking globally, what we're seeing in our local market, weaker equity markets and stronger bonds. This trend is very much mimicking what we're seeing globally. And it's interesting because if you think back to the start of last month, we had a very similar start to the month where we had a couple of economic data points coming out of the USA. The ISM manufacturing number, the jobs numbers, they both came in lower than expected, and they resulted in the markets there.
Exactly, China, man. I wasn't feeling weird way. I'm too like so yeah, sure.
Relatively well, above $2,500 an ounce. But if you look at copper and the oil price, both of those are down quite materially over the last few days. Copper is down about 4% or so, below that $9,000 a ton level, and then the oil price has fared even a lot worse, down just over 5% or so. And there are two reasons mainly, behind the weakness in those two commodities. One, it's the concerns around growth, both in the US and also in China. Sentiment in China particularly has been very weak, over a considerable amount of time. And we still see that playing out in the oil price. And then there's also been some recent news about potential increases in oil supply coming out of Libya. This is a market that hasn't been producing much oil in the recent past. However, there seems to be some agreement there, in terms of the governments that is in Libya to be able to increase some supply there. So that is having an impact on the oil price. From a local perspective, that's obviously positive. If we continue to have this pressure on the oil price and the rand continues to behave as it has been doing over the recent past, we could see potentially another decrease in the oil price in the coming few weeks, as we saw earlier this week. So I guess that's something positive to look forward to, Sakina, for local consumers.
It certainly is, and we'll take that into the weekend. Thank you so much, Victor Mapunga, Head of Research at Old Mutual Wealth and Private Clients.
Mzansi, play Powerball for the guaranteed 90 million rand this Friday, and you could win the life-changing jackpot. Don't miss out. Play Powerball now and get in the game for your chance to become the next big multi-millionaire. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial star 120 star 7529 for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play all the play responsibly.
One hour for the kids' school, 8 hours of work, 2 hours preparing meals, and so much more. Sure, 24 hours is simply not enough to do it all. Luckily at Unisa, you don't need to find studies. Anytime will do. Shape your future with a leading open distance application graduate qualifications open.
Talk about the song that you love. The song that might have helped you through difficult times. Why do you love the song?
I don't know. Every time I listen to the song, it just touches me. I don't know.
Tabby Soul.
Signs will be there.
SAFM sends its deepest condolences.
Signs will be there.
Leading the conversations that move us. SAFM Sport with John Herriga.
Hello, John. Pull yourself towards yourself.
We really need a camera in the studio.
Honestly. But I'm glad we don't have one for that moment.
Not for that one.
Yeah. All right, what's happening?
AFCON qualified tonight. It's a busy weekend again. 6 o'clock kickoff. South Africa take on Uganda in their first match of qualifying for next year's AFCON. Temba Zwane will lead the team this evening. He feels he's been given the freedom to be the best player that he can be.
The free role that I'm playing here in the national team, it helped me so much to connect with the strikers, to connect with the midfielders, and I'm so much comfortable, especially when I'm with the team, and try to play in between the line, and I think that's what help me to do well in the national team.
So, in answer to that question yesterday, Prasa will run dedicated train services connecting key stations to Orlando Stadium tonight. They'll run on routes including from Park Station, Lady Station, New Canada and Midway Station. It'll cost you R14.50 for a return trip. By the way, in that group yesterday, Congo beat South Sudan 1-0 in South Africa's Group K.
It's not free?
Not free. For the Prasa trains weren't free for Ellis Park either. You had to pay for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Other matches today: Kenya against Zimbabwe at 3, DRC take on Guinea at 6, Sierra Leone against Chad, Togo against Liberia. 8 o'clock, Morocco hosts Gabon. Then at 9 o'clock, Cape Verde go to Egypt, Ivory Coast take on Zambia, Mozambique are in Mali, and Senegal against Burkina Faso. UEFA Nations League matches tonight at 8:45. Belgium take on Israel, and France take on Italy. How's that for a match, huh? It's a World Cup final in the olden days. Sticking with football, Kune's playing days at Kaizer Chiefs are done. It was confirmed by club's sporting director, Kaizer Motaung Jr.
Yeah, I think from that perspective, the play order was really done. And I think also with E2 it's different because we really had those discussions last year already. You know, we also very clear as a club from the beginning about the contract that is being put on the table with E2. And that's why, as you can see, as we came into Turkey, Fiacre was one of our important signings because we really long planned for that transition. You know, E2 is a very valuable member of the family because, I mean, you don't achieve what he's done and contributed to this brand in the way that he has, well, by mistake. So obviously it's a time where he can serve in other aspects, and we look forward to what unfolds.
All right, let's get to the rugby. South African take on New Zealand in the Rugby Championship tomorrow night. Starts at 5. The Boxers seeking 4 consecutive wins over New Zealand for the first time in the professional era. Kanan Moody was picked on the right wing, looking forward to playing against the All Blacks on his home ground. And for a young man from Cape Town, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, it's very special. I tried to keep it on the low for the week, but now the team's out, so probably going to get some message for tickets. But no, very special. I mean, growing up in Cape Town, these are the games you thinking about when you're growing up, running in the street, thinking you're facing the All Blacks. So yeah, this is just a very, very special opportunity to play this weekend. Yeah, what a better place than Cape Town to do it.
And Cape Town also announced there's an uptick of trains. They'll move some more trains around Cape Town tomorrow. They then asked fans to do what they call the short, safe and secure 200-meter walk from Cape Town Station to the Cape Town Civic Centre, and there you can catch, Sakina, a free My City shuttle to the Cape Town Stadium. But during 2010 you did that walk, so if you can walk it, I'd walk it if you can. A number of road closures, so please look out for that. If you are planning on driving into town, it could be chaos. Currie Cup happening today, 3 o'clock. Griquas take on Western Province, and the Lions host the Griffins at 5:15. Let's go to the Paralympic Games in para-judo today. Nyebo Lamani was beaten by Argentina Eduardo Guato with an ippon deep into the golden score period. So Nyebo being knocked out there. In the men's 400-meter T47, Colin Mahlalela ran a personal best of 48.65 seconds, finished second, but earns an automatic qualification for the final. That's at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Both heats were won with new Paralympic records, so Mahlalela will have to work very hard tomorrow. There's athletics coming up today. The men's 400-meter T62 final sees 2 South Africans, Paul Daniels and Daniel du Plessis. And the women's discus has our South African world record holder, Simone Kruger. She set the world record back in May, so much is expected from her. That's the F38 final, starts at 28 minutes to 9 tonight. In the tennis, it's men's semi-final day. Yannick Sinner takes on Jack Draper, followed by Taylor Fritz against Francis Tiafoe. Fritz has struggled to advance. In fact, he hasn't advanced beyond the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam. He explains why this might be.
The mental coping that I was doing for it was, well, every time I was in the quarters, I played Djokovic. And I think that was my way to just protect my ego. But then I got to look at Wimbledon, where I didn't play Novak in a quarter. I guess my 3 quarters before were Novak, and Rafa. And so then I got one where I played Musetti, and he outplayed me, and I lost. And I think that's when I was like, okay, well, maybe I can't.
I've got to wrap it up, so let me tell you some cricket news today. There's 2 matches to look forward to. The third test between England and Sri Lanka starts at midday. It's England's 16th match in the World Test Championship. South Africa's played just 6. And a T20 between Scotland and Australia. It's the second T20. Australia having won the first match. That starts at 3. See you through the weekend.
All right, enjoy.
Sakina Kamwendo on SAFM.
Let's listen to your voice notes.
Afternoon, Sakina. Speaking to Roden again. I don't think this government it will work. When the ANC members are still in it, this what you call this new government. I don't think it will work. Like remove all those ANC people that started first.
Good afternoon, Sakina. It's Chakazin Polugwane. The Justice Minister might have committed a crime in ignorance. Her confidence is going to expose her. She's not talking sense. Yeah, that's the way I'm seeing from what she said. She must be guilty.
This is Zimbabwe. They cannot say this in Zimbabwe. There's a security guard to go insulting him.
But it makes me worry because of when the thing was happening, he was the mayor in Mpumalanga, so he was the engine.
You can't critique the government
of that municipality.
Never mind the president.
How can they ever deal with VPs if he's not included? So I knew it is going to refuse for this allegation because of why they've been taking so long to question him, because of he was also there when President raised these issues on Wednesday. They give him time so that he can go to think, to lie to Parliament. That lady's lying. He know everything that was happening in that municipality because of he was the mayor at that time. It is peace in Matasan.
Sakina, Ilroda from Durban. Yeah, I think the rugby tomorrow will be a close one. The side that wins will win by probably 1 or 2 points. But I still take the Blacks to win because there won't be any more altitude problems. And I think they have learned from their mistakes. They were unlucky in the first test. So yeah, I mean, they always come back. Look how Argentina beat them. And then they came back and they hammered Argentina. Yeah, Cyril from Durban.
Good day, Bishop Mabana from Lebron and Sakina. John PC Milan had an improper relationship with that guy. That is why he gave him that 575,000. That's clear. She could lie, she could say whatever she likes. But one thing we must know, South Africans, that lady is a good administrator, good manager, and she has good ethics. Unfortunately, she befriended those that were thieves and corporate bourgeoisie. So she must just recuse herself. We don't want a tainted Minister of Justice. They are persecuting her because she wanted changes in the justice system. That's why they brought VPS to her.
Mzansi, play Powerball for the guaranteed 90 million rand this Friday, and you could win the life-changing jackpot. Don't miss out. Play Powerball now and get in the game for your chance to become the next big multi-millionaire. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za. The mobile app, sample banking, or simply dial *120 *529# for USSD. Panga, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
Life is always good in the top half. However, it requires consistency. That's what the University of Johannesburg and First Touch ladies want to deliver. This is the Hollywood Red Super League.
I'll come back to it. It doesn't look like it though. But we will see if we can squeeze in a few explanations. It's 8 minutes before 1.
Sakina Kamwendo on SAFM.
To the Northwest Province now, where the community of Danville in Mahikeng is appealing to police for assistance in the wake of growing drug-related crimes in the area. Now, drug users, addicts and dealers are reportedly wreaking havoc as locals say that they live in fear of falling victim to brazen robbers and rapists in the area following the discovery of a number of human remains in a nearby bush. But for more on the story, we join on the line by Danville Councillor Stephen van Rooyen. Mr. van Rooyen, thanks for your time. Welcome to Update at Noon.
Good afternoon, Sakina and your listeners.
What seems to be the challenges with regard to this situation in Danville as far as these drug users, addicts and dealers are concerned?
Sakina, we are facing a national crisis like all over the country with drugs is concerned. Our small community, we are seriously in trouble with these drug dealers, and they are coming into our communities. They're coming inside to come and sell, and it went so far that they are starting to rob our elderly people that's walking to town. They are raping girls, and even school kids moving from school to the taxi rank get marked and robbed by these guys sitting in the bushes and waiting for people to come their way. But the main contributing factor here is the drug selling in our community.
And this is always an interesting element, Mr. van Rooyen, because usually the communities know who the drug dealers are in their communities. So we understand that the community has identified as many as 15 drug dens in the area. But do they know who the sellers are, and has this been reported to the police?
Yes, my sister, we know who the drug dealers are. We know who the guys is selling drugs. We know where they live. Our people are so living in fear. They're afraid to mention the names, or even they'll show the police. But on the other end, when the police do come to do some raids, then it's like these guys have been informed beforehand. Police is coming, and when subs come, they find nothing on the premises. But we know exactly who the guys are, we know where they live, and most of these guys are coming from outside into Mahikeng, and they come and do the business here in our small community here.
Well, that doesn't sound right. I would imagine as a councillor, has this been escalated then if the police are not doing anything about it? Has the community escalated this matter to a higher authority?
But we are going for the Petrol. In the past 2 years, I'm like second month they interview me on the radio. We had some brigadiers here in the past. We went into the bushes where these guys are hiding. We showed these guys these things. They took video footage of where these people are hiding. But nothing is happening. There's no police controlling, nothing at all. We started with a neighborhood watch. And since these guys started to operate, there's slight difference that we can see. But now, it went so far that these members of the neighborhood watch, apparently their names appear on a hit list by these guys who are selling, because they want to get rid of the guys because they are actually interfering in the business. But we did escalate it to the highest authority, but still there's no visible policing controlling and patrolling in our community.
We'll park it there for today because we're out of time, but tell you what, we will take this forward on Monday. We'll try and hear from the police about what they know and what sort of intervention they've made. That was Danville Councillor Stephen van Rooyen. Danville just outside Mahikeng, and drug users, addicts, dealers all wreaking havoc on that community.
We're delving deeper into the world of mining and engineering. From the coalface with Martin Creamer.
Well, it's that time again on a Friday when Update at Noon presents another update from the coalface with Martin Creamer, publishing editor of Engineering News and Mining Weekly. Good afternoon, Martin.
Good afternoon, Sakina.
Martin, development of the green hydrogen economy is seen as being key by South Africa's platinum mining industry.
Well, platinum miners are price takers. They are not price makers. And the prices are down at the moment. And so there's a disruption in the industry because the automotive industry generally just used platinum. Now there's a mixture of technologies within the automotive industry which is not creating enough demand for platinum group metals. So what the platinum group mining industry is planning is to try and stimulate interest, stimulate demand. And they see that the best way of doing this is by stimulating interest in green hydrogen. Now we see that the green hydrogen is produced with electrolyzers that need platinum group metals, so that you get the green hydrogen from the electrolyzers using platinum group metals. And when you've got the green hydrogen, you then pass that through a fuel cell to create clean electricity, and that fuel cell also requires platinum group metals. So on both sides of the equation, you've got demand coming in, and that's what they want to emphasize at the moment. They feel that green hydrogen is the little sibling in the corner, which is not being recognized because it requires some infrastructure. Now, there's a German company that's come through and said you can use existing infrastructure. What they're doing is they're giving the hydrogen an oily skin, and that will be able to then use every bit of infrastructure we've got. So if you go to Midrand at the moment, you'll see that there's a BMW fleet that gets its green hydrogen from a filling station there. But it's a starting point that needs to really be expanded.
So going on to South Africa's platinum group metal mining companies, and they are placing a new emphasis on chrome, Martin.
When they mine platinum, if they're going into certain reef, they also get chrome. Now you have a situation where the platinum prices are down, but the chrome price is very high. So they are now emphasizing their chrome, trying to get as much chrome out as possible into the market, mainly into China, where it goes into ferrochrome and to produce stainless steel, because stainless steel is long-lasting, and that's seen as helping the planet, because you don't have to produce steel over and over. If you use stainless steel, it lasts for much longer. So there's a big demand now for chrome, and there's response from the platinum group sector.
And finally, Martin, action being taken to ensure that clean electricity is used to produce South Africa's aluminium.
We have a very big aluminium plant at Hillside in KwaZulu-Natal. It employs 31,000 people directly and indirectly. It contributes a lot to our gross domestic product, and it's a very important asset to the country, but it uses Eskom electricity, and Eskom electricity is regarded as unacceptable because it's from fossil fuel. So when they're starting to export into Europe, they're getting faced with potential tariffs now, because they'll say you're using fossil fuel, you're not using a clean green fuel, so we're going to put a penalty on your aluminium. And this is presenting a threat to 31,000 jobs and also this contribution to the economy. So steps are being taken now to try and make sure that they can change that electrical to a lot of solar and also a lot of wind. But it's such a huge amount of electricity that you use, they might also have to use some sort of concessionary nuclear power.
Abantu has been using coal for years.
Thanks so much, Martin. We'll be back with another edition of At the Coalface, same time next Friday. And that brings us to 1 o'clock. It's a bumper sporting weekend. Do enjoy it. And of course, thanks to the production team and to everyone who listened in. We'll be back on Monday. It's time now for the latest news with eMalahleni.
Process of Gundu as the financial advisor on investment decisions of the municipality. Mayor.
Cape. A very good afternoon.
Deputy President, utlobalo gona go bona
eMalahleni le lato tse di tlalo tsa financial advisor to the municipality.
eMalahleni kulunga everywhere.
This in fact, office of the
village is chart 31. DP Utoruku.
I don't misunderstand it, but it is not employment outside.
Will be without captain and first choice goalkeeper Ronwin Williams, who's recovering from an appointed by Polokwane Municipality.
water supply problems to be patient as government begins the process of fixing their local reservoir. The Jabulani Reservoir, which provides water to several communities including Naledi, Moetsani, Tladi and Zondi, is unable to operate at its full capacity due to aging infrastructure. Morero, alongside Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, is embarking on what they call an accelerated service delivery program in Soweto. Alpha Ramushana is there.
Residents of Soweto who faced ongoing water supply issues in recent years have repeatedly taken to the streets, hoping their concerns will be addressed with the highest urgency.